your weekly fantasy football rundown. My name is Jet.
I'm Simon.
And I'm Avi.
And let's jump right into it. Let's start off with our first segment, Starter Bench. I'm going to name 2 players, and our hosts will decide which one we want to start and which one we would want to bench. Let's start off with Jordan Addison, who's facing the Jets this week, or Kareem Hunt against the Saints.
Me personally, I think Kareem Hunt will do better than Jordan Addison, because just because Jordan Addison got like 2 touchdowns last week doesn't really it means a lot, but it doesn't really mean that much. And Kareem Hunt is clearly the starting back for the Chiefs, and he's going to get a lot of volume. So yeah,
I'm going to have to go in the contrary and take Jordan Addison, because although the Chiefs' receiving core is limited right now with Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown out, I'm going to take Jordan Addison because the Vikings' offense has been thriving as of late. And although they do have Justin Jefferson, I do believe Jordan Addison is going to get a lot of targets. And Kareem Hunt was a little bit shaky the weeks prior to week 4.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt. The Chiefs have, obviously, Isaiah Pacheco out. Last week, it was clear that Hunt was the lead back over rookie Carson Steele. Addison did well last week with 2 touchdowns, although he did that on just 4 targets. Against a tough Jets secondary, I'm taking Kareem Hunt against the Saints. Next up, let's go Bucky Irving or Jalen Waddle. Irving's against the Falcons on Thursday Night Football. Waddle's against the Patriots.
I'm gonna go Bucky Irving as well, because Jalen Waddle, when Tua comes back, I would take Jalen Waddle, because he's shown he's had 1,000+ receiving yards every season he's been in the league, I believe, and he's proven to be a really good route runner. But Bucky Irving has been great as of late. He's progressively gotten more and more touches, and against I'm not entirely sure about the Falcons' run defense is like, but he's on the way to surpassing Rachaad White in touches, and he's been great when he has got the ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Bucky Irving is going to get more volume than Rachaad White. And also Tyler Huntley, quarterback for the Dolphins, has just looked like really bad. So yeah, give me Bucky Irving.
I'm going to take Jalen Waddle, actually. I think Huntley figures it out more. I feel like he's one of the higher-end backups in the league. He'll get his feet under him a little bit more. Waddle was their leading receiver last week with 4 catches for 36 yards. Though that's not much, it's something to build on, and look for Huntley to look more his way. I don't trust Irving quite yet in a committee with White. Last up, we've got Tank Dell or Romeo Doubs. Dell against the Bills, although he's questionable. This is assuming he plays. And Doubs against the Rams.
Honestly, I think this is really close, but I think I'm going to have to go towards Doubs, because LA is really hurt, and if the game's going to look like anything like last week, Green Bay passed a lot, and
54 pass attempts for Jordan Love last week.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be a higher scoring game, so I think Doubs here.
I'm going to take Tank Dell, assuming he plays. I feel like he could be the difference maker in that Buffalo game. And Doubs is tough to pick for me with Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, although I do think Watson's doubtful to play, and Dontavion Wicks in that offense. And it's not as consistent. Doubs isn't as explosive as Tank. Give me Dell.
I agree with Jen on this one. I'm going to take Tank Dell as well.
All right, now moving on to hidden gems, waiver wire pickups that are 25% rostered or below in ESPN formats as of Tuesday, October 1st. You want to take this one?
Yeah. First of all, Kareem Hunt. It's surprising, but he's only rostered in 21.7% of the league, percent of leagues, ESPN leagues. And as Jet was discussing before, he's been the RB1 since Pacheco is injured, and due to a limited receiving core in Kansas City, I do think he will get over 15 touches, and that he could definitely score 20+ points this week.
It's a possibility. Next, we've got Josh Downs against the Jaguars and Dontavion Wicks against the Rams. As of Tuesday, they were rostered in 8.9 and 9.7% of leagues, respectively. Those are some good wide receiver options for your bench. Wicks is the wide receiver 2 for the Packers and a strong passing offense. And Downs is the wide receiver 2 up in Indy in an offense that looked better, quite frankly, under Joe Flacco than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I think for Dontavion Wicks, a stat for y'all, he actually got 13 targets last week, and although he only caught 5 of them, he's kind of having like a drop problem, but he got 13 targets, so there's a lot of potential there. So yeah.
13 targets was just under 25% of the total passes thrown by Love, who threw for 54 passes in an attempt to come back from a staggering deficit in the second half against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Moving on to buy low, sell high trade targets.
I think you should definitely be buying Ramondre Stevenson. He's been doing he's had 2 bad games? But
Yeah.
it was against the Niners, which is incredible defense. They dropped,
the Jets.
23 points last week? Yeah, and the Jets, which is also a really good run defense. So, although we definitely saw the floor of Stevenson, which is literally nothing, but he also has a ceiling of 20, and I think you can really buy low on him right now.
Yep. As long as the Patriots aren't playing teams with elite defenses, I feel like Stevenson is a must start almost. The Patriots offense just isn't explosive enough. There's not enough in the passing game to distract from the run. So ultimately against really good teams with really good defenses, they're going to get shut down. I mean, there's nothing Jacoby Brissett can do that's going to throw defenses off Stevenson's run game. So they're going to be playing behind and won't be able to establish the run. This week, I see that changing against a mediocre at best Dolphins team.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Ramondre's ceiling has shown to be high. He dropped, I think, 26 points either week 1 or week 2, and obviously his floor is really low, which is making him a great option for buy low. But I'm going to move to Chuba Hubbard on the Panthers, and he's been fantastic. He's scored, I think, 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, and he's been fantastic. He's shown to really be able to get through an O-line, whether it's through the side or through the middle. And although he's been great, with the return of Jonathan Brooks, or I guess the introduction of Jonathan Brooks into the NFL, who's one of the biggest prospects in recent history, at least as a running back.
In this year's draft class.
In this year's draft
He
class.
was the highest drafted running back, I believe.
He's going to get a lot fewer touches.
Yeah.
So look for his workload to decrease with the return of Brooks. He is a sell high. And that should do it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.